slip by a silver string. I could tell by the mark you left you were in his dream. Hard child, a countless tree. Hard child. What's going on, guys? Joe's Neon here. Boy, am I excited. Got myself a workshop. I haven't had a workshop in a long time, since I lived at home. All the places I've been, I've had small places to work and whatnot, but my old place, I did a lot of work right in my kitchen, on my kitchen counter, so this is just phenomenal. So I just wanted to welcome you to my shop and a little series I'm going to be doing. I really like the way a lot of the YouTubers out there, you know, I like to call them family, you know, the way that they're doing their videos. I'm really digging it. So I'm going to kind of fall into that same circle and do a kind of a series, you know, tell you a little bit about, you know, myself, and, you know, I think I'll be showing you crafts and little projects that I'm working on and whatnot, you know, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to end every video, though, with a joke. So, Shop Talk with Joe is going to have a joke at the end of each one. But this one here, I'm doing it little CMR custom style. Chuck Richards, go check him out. He's a great custom knife maker. CMR Customs, great guy, you know, and he does a lot of video down in his shop, you know, and there's some things here in my shop that you know, I kind of did like Chuck did, you know, just because I can. I'll show you one of them. This right here, you see that Grateful Dead Steal Your Face patch on Chuck's bench all the time, and his has got the tie-dye in the center. Mine's a traditional Steal Your Face, but I bought those at the Dead Show in 1984 at Saratoga Performing Arts Center. I sent one to Chuck, I got the other one, we both got them on our benches. How cool is that? Chuck's got a little statue of an Indian on his bench, and I got a picture of an Indian on my bench. So, yeah, this is it, guys. Check it out. Bose 501s. Awesome stereo system setup. It just cranks down here, man. Blow your mind. So listen, I just, you know, and along with the Chuck Richards theme, I'm playing Nectar, which was my old band back in the late 90s and early 2000. I had a band called Nectar, and we played a lot of Grateful Dead, and we were basically a jam band. We did really well for ourselves. We played all over the Capital District, and it was great. And I sent Chuck a couple tapes, and he's played them in his videos. If you go back and check some of them out, he's playing the tapes, and how cool is that? This happened to be a CD that I had that we burned. This was a live show at a big place called Northern Lights here in town, and it was an acoustic show, and it was amazing. It was a great time. So this is just a little bit of Nectar in the background, going along with the whole CMR Customs theme. Chuck, thanks, brother. So anyhow, I know this is one of Chuck's favorite tunes, Cassidy, so enjoy it, man. You know, a lot of the channels that I watch, guys, are trapping channels, you know, and you know, I don't even want to start to mention how many of them are out there, but, you know, it's amazing. I mean, you've got Boss of the Swamp, you've got Rodney Newberry, you've got Big Land Trapper, you've got 80K Trapper, MS Hunt Trap. I could just go on. Gonzo, you know. Keith Gagnon. There's just so many of them out there. But something you guys might not know about me is that I trapped for years and years and years. All my buddies had paper routes. That's what they did. That's how they made their money when we were kids. Well, I ran a trap line. And I ran a serious trap line. I probably ran in the area of, I'd say, anywhere between 60 and 80 sets. Now, that doesn't sound like much to you guys, but where I was trapping, that was quite a bit, you know? And I religiously checked my traps twice a day, every single day. I checked them in the morning, before school, and I left myself time that I could skin before I had to go to school. And a lot of the times, you know, I got on the bus with raccoon fat on me because I didn't have time to change or shower. But it was more important for me to get those hides skinned than anything in the world. So, you know, I didn't care if I went to school with animal fat on me. That's just the way it was. You know, so, but I did pretty good for myself, you know, and come the springtime, I had a nice pocket of cash once I sold my furs. So, yeah, behind me, you can see right here, those are a couple of extra large coon that I had tanned out. Those are 46 inches from the nose to the tip of the tail. And there's a big possum over there, too. I'll show you him. I got a great story about this possum here. This sucker here is in full prime. And what happened there was my buddy seen him coming out of his barn, walking across a snowy field. It was in February. And he had a snowmobile parked in his driveway, and he got his 17 HMR out, and he shot that possum right behind the ear. There's the hole. Right behind the ear at 160 yards. That's sweet. Here's a Mandela that I made years ago. It's got weasels on it. There you go, Heath. Excellent job with that weasel tutorial, man. Great job with the last video. I absolutely loved it. It was killer. This is the silliest thing I've ever seen in my life, called the iron buck. I absolutely cannot stand that. I got it as a gift, but I mean, that's just silly. Beautiful rack of antlers, but come on. For real? Over here, guys, check this out. Oh yeah, fishing rod storage heaven. All up on the water pipes. That's just awesome. I'm psyched. I got a great place for my rods and my reels. So yeah, you know, I did a lot of trapping, and one of my, I had a couple of crazy trapping stories. I'll tell you really quick. One time I saw that I had a rat. I caught a rat in a cubby set with a 110 counter bear, and I had to cross the creek. Well, the creek had frozen, so I real carefully stepped out on it. It was okay. I got about 3 feet from the bank, and the ice broke, and down I went. And don't you know, it was the deepest spot in this creek for 2 miles. I fell in the deepest spot. I went right up to here. So I said, I'm in the water right now. What the hell? I busted the rest of the ice, got my rat, took my trap, got back up on the bank. Well, it was so cold. It was probably about 5 degrees. I had about a 1.5 mile walk to get back to the house, and I probably walked 1/4 mile and my clothes froze solid. I had to walk with straight legs, you know. So that's what Ray's talking about when, you know, we really got to use your heads, man, when you're out there. Anything can happen at any time, man. It happened to me. I made it home. It wasn't pretty, but it was a little hypothermic. I got through it. Another crazy trapping story. I climb up on top of this ridge where I had a cubby set for coon. And before I even could get up on top of that ridge, I could hear that trap chain just a slapping and ringing. I says, oh man, I got me a monster. Well, I got up on that ridge line, and here's this monster coon backed up against a tree looking at me. Just looking at me. Well, the the area I was trapping, I couldn't use a firearm, so I couldn't shoot them. We clubbed them. And what I did was, I beat the living shit out of this coon. And he was still somewhat there, you know, breathing a little bit. And I had my buddy Jimmy with me. I says, Jimmy, I says, I'm going to grab him by the legs in his mouth. I said, you let him out of the trap, and I'm going to run down off this ridge to the creek, and I'm going to drown him. He says, you're crazy, man. I said, no, I got it, man. It was a big coon, too. So I says, I grabbed a hold of his snout, wrapped up with his front paws, and I had his hind paws. I said, let him out. He let him go. And I run down off the ridge with this coon, and I shove him in the creek. And I stand right on his head, and the bubbles are coming up, bubbles are coming up. Man, it seemed like it was 15 minutes before no more bubbles were coming up. He wasn't jerking, he wasn't doing nothing. So I carried him back up onto the bank, and I took my pack off my back. I had a canvas pack that I used to carry. And I threw him in that pack, and I couldn't even get it zippered. He was such a big coon. So that was one of the last traps on the line on the way out. So we're walking up, you come up out of the woods, and then you hit a cul-de-sac and a road, and you walk up the road to the houses. Well, we're walking up the road, the sun's not even up yet. We're walking up the road, and all of a sudden, I feel this kicking on my back. Oh, what the hell? That coon come to life in that pack on my back. Unbelievable. You've never seen anybody get out of a pack so fast. I threw that sucker down on the ground, and boy, I'll tell you what, it wasn't pretty. I had to take one of my trapping tools there and dispatch him. But yeah, I really relate to all you guys' videos on trapping and stuff. Though I'm not a license holder now, I just don't have the time. You know, if you're going to be a responsible trapper, you've got to have a lot of time to dedicate to that trap line. I take that very seriously. Very seriously. I check my traps religiously twice a day. You know, that's not necessary in most states, but I did. And I'll tell you what, I never walked up to a set that was all tore up and there was a foot in the trap. Never once. So, with that being said, now you know a little bit about my trapping history. And, oh, there's something else I want to show you. I've shown this to you guys in a video before, but some of you guys may not have seen this. And Ray, Wild Wilderness, man. Check it out. I think you'll dig this. Gonna crack me a PVR here. You ever seen a 16-ounce koozie? How's that? Koozie for the tall boys. Oh yeah, check this out, guys. This is a lamp I made. I made this lamp with a number 4 Victor. I set it and I welded it open, and I probably ought to plug it in so you can see it better. And I've got a big double bit axe head for the base. And I used the chain, the trap chain, for the switch. How's that, guys? For all my trapping buddies. That was a cool little project I did. You know, makes a beautiful lamp. Head's nice and heavy. I welded a couple of pieces of steel on the bottom of it so it sits flat. But yeah, I just had to show that to you guys. I thought it was cool, and some of you guys might get a kick out of it. But anywho, I got some other projects I've been working on. Well, what am I doing here? Lost the tunes and all. Pulled the wrong plums, what I did. Yeah, so I got some other projects I've been working on. Sandy and I are decorating more upstairs because, you know, we were really waiting to decorate so that we could get the place painted. And the landlord's kind of dragging their feet a little bit as far as getting the place painted. So we figured we would start to decorate, and Sandy's come up with some really great ideas, so have I. And what what we did was we did the whole living room area in Adirondack Mountain, you know, kind of motif, you know, kept it very, you know, kind of woodsy. It's pretty cool. So I want to take you guys upstairs to show you that, show you a project I made for the wall. I think came out really cool. I think you guys will dig that. So come on, let's go for a walk. All right. You know, I said let's go for a walk. I feel like my buddy Kronkis. Bo, what's up, brother? Here you go. Kronkis 36. Check him out. Bo Johnson, what a great guy. So here we go, upstairs. And yeah, I'll show you this. Real happy with this. Yeah. Yeah. We got the knife display case. Sandy's got a real nice plant stand here. Here's a paddle. That's an ash paddle that I refinished. It's a monster. Handmade paddle. This is really cool. We love this. Our fake wood stove with my pack basket. Gotta love it. Some great pictures. Here's a picture of a nice salmon I caught. 34 pounds, boys. That's a canoe right there that I made out of 122 pieces of wood to make this canoe. Here, let me bring it by the door so you can see it. Cedar strip canoe. That was a fun project. I bent all those ribs around a beer bottle, top of a Molson bottle. That's how I steamed and bent all those ribs. Yeah, you duck hunters out there, there you go. So yeah, it's coming along real nice. Yeah, this is a brook trout that I carved out of a piece of foam. I carved the fish and then I had a taxidermist paint it. Pretty cool, right? Big old brook trout for you there. This is a mirror that I made out of birch bark. Pretty cool. There's another paddle that I finished. That's a cherry paddle. That was made for a lady. It's extremely light. It's beautiful, beautiful paddle. Got my deer antler lamp that I made. And here's my latest project. It's a wall sculpture I did out of caribou antlers. And it's real neat, this paddle right here, you can set a candle right there and it just, at night, just on the wall, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Here's a cool lamp that I also made. This has got 4 deer feet on it. It's a 4 deer foot lamp. That was a nice size doe I shot. There's my buddy Calvin. Yeah, here's a fish tank. Kids are all cruising around. So yeah, here's my setup in the kitchen here. Got some stuff on the table. These are all orders. Schmuckatelli paracord bracelets. Motorcycle clubs. Here's my computer setup. Got an eye tower there. This is the view out the back door. Leaves are looking beautiful. And yeah, we got a beta over here. See Angel? She's sticking her face out. Pretty cool. Here's another order of paracord bracelets. We're going to a friend's house tonight for lobster and bringing a bottle of wine, and they ordered a bunch of bracelets. So yeah, this is a photograph here that my buddy took of apples that we have in the kitchen here. It's awesome. So yeah, that's what's going on upstairs. Just wanted to show you my antler projects, and I'm just really digging, guys, spending time in my shop. You know, I mean, just to be able to have a a place to hang, you know. Mr. Coop, man, what's going on, buddy? He just built himself a new shop. I don't know if you've seen any of those videos. That's awesome. He's got a new shop. Of course, Chuck, you know, we always go down in his shop with his knife making and stuff. That's awesome. Gonzo did a video outdoors, but we're usually in the garage with Gonzo. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. Great time. Ray, Wild Wilderness. I'm not sure if that was down in his basement when he shot his series of Who I Am. That was great, you know, and I found that really interesting, you know. I don't know if you guys have watched any of it, but go check out Ray's channel, Wild Wilderness, and watch his series, because it's really cool. He's got some cool stories to tell, you know, and he has a quote at the end, you know. It's just awesome stuff. Yeah, and of course my buddy Cronkus, and you know, Chris Taylor, man, he's another custom knife maker. He puts out some great videos in his shop, you know. So now that the months are going to be getting cold, winter's on its way. Oh, before I forget to tell you guys, I'm going to be able to bow hunt out my back door. Now, that shot that I just showed you guys out the sliding glass door, behind the shed, 12 feet yesterday afternoon were deer tracks. And I've been watching them because I walked 200 yards through the woods, and I come to the corner of a cornfield. And I found a tree that is going to be perfect for my climbing stand. I cut myself some trails. You know, they say if you cut trails for deer, they're going to use them. And you know what? I was out there 3 days later. They pounded these trails. Pounded them. They're using them in and out all the time. So I'm really excited about that. Now, when I went out yesterday afternoon, I walked all the way down to the cornfield. I got to the cornfield. I was real happy with the track that I saw. I see some aggressive track. And I think that you know, I'm thinking to myself, geez, you know, that's probably a buck. And he's starting to get a little bit heated, you know. He's getting ready for the rut. And I checked my tree out, checked my 2 trails out. I'm like, this is awesome. I turn around to head back, and right at the bottom of my tree this big around, is rubbed that far. Fresh rub. Was done the night before. So I got a buck in my territory, pretty much underneath my stand. I can't even wait to stick it on video for you guys. It's going to be awesome. I can't even wait. So listen, like I said, the end of every video, I'm going to tell a joke. So here's the joke for today. Alright, these 3 guys are at the pearly gates of heaven, and St. Peter's standing there. And the first guy steps up, and St. Peter says, you ever cheated on your wife? And he says, I have never cheated on my wife. Never once, never would have considered it. He says, well, for being such a good man, while you're here in heaven, you get to have a limousine driver, and you will be riding in a 1962 Bentley. So he walks into heaven, off he goes. Next guy steps up, and he says, have you ever cheated on your wife? And he says, well, only a couple times. And he's like, well, he goes, while you're here in heaven, you're going to drive this old pickup truck here. He says, well, good enough. I got wheels. So off he goes. The next guy steps up, and St. Peter says, I heard all about you. He goes, you ain't not been nothing but bad to your wife. You cheated on her a million times. I ain't even going to give you transportation while you're here in heaven. I says, all right. Well, the guy with the pickup truck says to him, he says, don't worry about it, buddy. You can ride around with me, you know. So off they go. Well, 2 days later, they're driving through heaven, and they come to a traffic light. And they pull up right next to the 62 Bentley. You know, it's warm in heaven. They got their windows down. Guy looks over, and the guy in the back of the Bentley is sitting in the back, and he's crying his eyes out. He's a mess. And the guy in the pickup truck leans out the window. He says, hey, he goes, what are you crying for? Look at the car you're riding in. He goes, I just seen my wife go by on a skateboard. Look out for part 2, guys. Leave me a comment. And you know what? I'm going to take this from Gonzo. I love the way he did it. It worked out great. You guys got any questions? Ask me a question. I'll be answering them on Shop Talk with Joe. See you guys soon.